You know what day it is? That's right, it's Obi unboxing time. I don't know why I made a jingle, but hi! I'm Obi from Obi Audio, and you are watching Obi Unboxes, the show where I unbox stuff, and today we are going to be taking a look at a couple of brown boxes that, if you are quite acknowledged, if I may say, you would know who these came from. And if you don't know, these came from SIMGOAT. That's right, we're getting another SIMGOAT package today. We'll see what these are, starting with the smaller one first to build up some excitement. What may this be? Oh, what is that? That says EW100 DSP. That is correct. Yes, SIMGOAT is releasing a DSP version of their well-renowned and well-received EW100, and you know, it's a very interesting tactic a lot of companies are doing nowadays, so let's take a look. So first and foremost, so it seems like they took the same box of the EW100, which actually no, this is a different box. This used to be a globe, now it's just a little ball, but basically similar. EW100, no P because it is the non-P version. And in the back, we can see here, they have now adhered to a different target. What that target is? Harman 2019. Yes, if you've seen before, SIMGOAT has been following the Harman 2016 target on their previous releases, namely the EW100P, EW100, and the EA500, as well as the EW200. And this, along with the next one, which I will not spoil yet, but you probably already know, it's in the title, but the EM6L also adheres to the 2016 target. Sorry, E2019 target. As you can see here, they have put a little piece of plastic, or sorry, paper sticker to indicate this is not just your EW100, it is the DSP version. So let's open it up. Opening up the package, now we see the box of the EW100. Oh, I see. So it does not have the similar thing as the EW100P, more so that it's just a piece of plastic bag. So, you know, really cheaping it out, but for a good reason, because this does change quite significantly from the original EW100 and EW100B. So we can see here the IMs themselves in a nice plastic bag, and the Type-C connector, because yes, this is DSP, so it's gotta have a non-3.5 or non-analog, I guess, output, or input rather. And we have here the basic silicone tips. Let's take a closer look at them, see how the quality is. The tips are, yeah, kind of what you would expect from ear tips for a $20 IEM. Not the best, not the worst, but it's definitely serviceable and a far cry from the ear tips of ye olden past. So they're pretty decent in terms of feeling. I will let you know what my impressions are. Actually, I think of doing an impressions after this, but anyways, you can see here just the instructional manual, nothing too fancy, and we can see here the EW200s themselves, sorry, EW100 DSPs themselves. So you can see that the cable, if you have not seen the EW100P or EW100, these use a very, very similar cable. Very nice, but you know, arguably it's a $20 cable. You can see the jack there, Type-C because DSP. Yes, that is correct. And removing the little plastic baggies, we can finally see and appreciate the IEMs themselves. And well, yeah, if you've seen the EW, actually, I don't know if it's just me, but these feel a little bit larger than the EW100s. Give me a moment. I stand corrected, they are the exact same size in terms of length with, oh, actually, they don't seem to be, oh no, I'm just dumb. But yeah, no, they're basically the same size, so anyways, looking back at the EW100 DSP, as you may notice, there are no ear hooks for the IEMs themselves, but otherwise, it's virtually similar to the EW100 and the EW100P. So now, removing it, we can see here the cable itself, and then got stuck a little bit there. The Y split, as you can see, it's basically what we've kind of gotten used to with SIMGOT stuff. And an inline mic. I'll let you know how this sounds right now. This is the microphone of the SIMGOT EW100 DSP. Let me know what you think about the quality down in the comments below. And that's how the microphone of the EW100 DSP sounds. Let me know if you think it's good. Yes. And the IEMs themselves, we've taken a look at them. They're basically the same shell from the EW100 series. So, roadie wrapping it, we can see here the entire package. Not a lot to see, but this is also a budget IEM, so understandably, there's not a lot to see. So, moving on to the next one, and there it is. I've spoiled you already what this is. This is the SIMGOT EM6L. Yes, this is SIMGOT's latest entry, and I believe this is going to be their latest hybrid offering as well, featuring a total of 4 balanced armatures and 1 dynamic driver. Why it's called EM6L instead of EM5L, I really wouldn't know. But regardless, it is also named by the moniker of the Phoenix. Yes, rising from the dead, or whatever the Phoenix does, but we can see here, this is going to be the second Phoenix-related IEM coming out recently, which is, definitely odd. It's not too common, but it's certainly an interesting phenomenon. So let's get rid of the plastic cover so we can properly appreciate the design of the box itself. We can see here a very beautiful Phoenix up front. I love SIMGOT's simplistic packaging. It just oozes minimalism, yet essentialism. Or I don't know what the word is, but basically all the essentials that you need. Nothing more, nothing less. And we can see here, high-res audio, obviously, that's something we always have to have. SIMGOT EM6L, and that thing right there, the Phoenix, very nice print. You can see on the side, the diagram or x-ray view of the EM6L, along with some specifications down there. I don't know if you can see it, right there. Yeah, it's just saying that it's a 1DD4BA hybrid type crossover multi-channel damping tuning system and high precision 3D resin. And we can see there again the usage of the Harman 2019 target, similar to what they did with the EW100 DSP. They seem to be moving on from the olden 2016 target and moving on to the more modern target. We can see here just a little bit of a similar thing what we have been seeing with SIMGOT IEMs. Some of the explanations. We have the EM6FR, the Harman 2019 target. We can also see here the exploded view showing each part. So the nozzle, you could see it. So very beautiful, very nice. And the sides, and just like in SIMGOT fashion, we open it from the side. That is correct. And sliding it. Whoa, okay. That looks pretty. That is a very nice harp looking, Phoenix. Not a harp. It looks like a harp, but the Phoenix, very nice. The bird, I believe this is the bird, and the wings and the flames. The Phoenix, very, very beautiful design. I love it. So, nothing much from the back. And again, typical SIMGOT fashion. Pull it from this side, and we slowly reveal the IEMs themselves. And as you can see, yes, this is another one of SIMGOT's mirror finish IEMs. So yes, if you don't like fingerprints or scratches on your IEMs, it seems like SIMGOT still doesn't have you covered. But that's okay, because what they lack in, I guess, longevity aesthetics, they have in the beauty. And we can see here, oh, what the hell was that? You can see here, it's a little bit of designs and the accessories. So let's pull that out for now. We'll take a look at the IEMs in a little bit. So we can put the IEMs right there first. I believe that's also the ear tips. Okay, so we have here just the usual SIMGOT type of packaging, and we'll put that to the side. So we can take a look at the ear tips first, since we're technically already here, and we'll put the box to the side as well. I don't know if you noticed, but I've changed my little cover here for y'all. So I want to see, or not I want to see, but I want it to be cleaner than before. I was using a towel. But anyways, moving back, I can smell the chemicals. Wow. I just want to say the chemicals are very strong with the SIMGOAT here. But, you know, can't make a factory without it smelling like chemicals. Anyways, we can see here, it seems like SIMGOAT's not changing their ear tips. They are still using the same ear tips that they've had for their more expensive releases, namely the EA500, EA2000, and now the EM6L. To those uninitiated, this is the, I would say, KB07, AET07 tips that are honestly one of the best tips that you can have as a beginner. If you don't know what kind of tips you need, these are perfect. I love these tips. These are a bit softer than the usual ones, so I don't know what SIMGOAT did or what I guess source where they got this from, but regardless, it is still a very good tip, a very nice tip. I can vouch for this tip. If so, yeah, if whatever comes with SIMGOAT, very solid. Again, tip roll if need be. So, putting back the tips from the SIMGOAT's ear tip division. Yes, hopefully they do release actual ear tips in the future. And putting it back here, we can finally take a look at the accessories. So, finally picking up the accessory, we can see that it is, well, no, you can't see it, but it's kind of a little bit of weighty. So I'm assuming this is where the cable and the case, as I've seen online, would be located. And guess what? I was right. This is the Simgot EM6L case, also known as the plainest case in the world, because there's absolutely no branding whatsoever on this case, which you love or hate, but I honestly love it because it's so clean. And again, it strikes the minimalist aesthetic of SIMGOAT once again, because they don't really want to intrude from your listening experience and just want you to have a nice, whoa, okay. Alright, so let's take a look at the case first. So if you've seen my EA500 unboxing, there's the same case. Very nice, very sturdy, very large. I wouldn't pocket this, but I have put a lot of stuff into this, like 3 IEMs. I put like multiple mini dongle DACs in this. I put the replacement filters, the replacement nozzles, like all of that inside this box, inside this packaging or case, and it all fit. So if there's anything you can trust with SIMGOAT's packaging or cases, well, they're really durable and very spacious. So very solid case. Let's just take a look at the inside. We can see here the very nice webbing to put whatever you want in there, maybe IEMs, and just a little bit of big place here. Maybe you can put a Shanling M0 Plus here, but it's up to you. Very nice case. Big fan of it. Now, let's finally take a look at, well, you know what, just for formalities, let's take a look at the EM6L. Very nice. I love the diagram for the EM6L. I just want to say I love how it looks. It looks so clean. We can see here just some instruction manuals. I'll be real, nothing really too special about it. So, pop! And let's take a look at the cable, which I have to be honest, SIMGOAT hasn't really changed up their cable styles ever. At least have to put this. I don't mean that in a bad way, but I will say that in this case, they did change the color of the strands to fit a more aesthetic design for the EM6L, because this is nothing like the other cables I've seen, although it does use a very distinctive gold that I saw on the EW100, and I honestly think that this is a really nice cable. However, it is definitely not a premium cable by any means of the word. This is a perfectly usable cable, but it is a little bit cheap feeling, and it's just, it's nothing special for a cable. But I have to say this as well. I appreciate what SIMGOAT's doing with their cables, because they are really saving costs in the parts that really don't matter as much, because if you have the money to be able to, you know, buy cables, you would. But they at least give the option to, well, at least they give the idea that, you know, this is a cable that you're going to be using. They're going to make it as usable as possible and fit the EM6 as much as possible. So I appreciate that. So taking a closer look into it, we can see the jack. This is, I would say this is an upgrade for the usual jacks of SIMGOAT. This is actually, I think, aluminum or metal, which, as it should, this is a lot more expensive than their usual releases. We have their tail ends. Yes, this is actually, I don't think I've said it, but it's $109. But yes, anyways, continuing, we can see the strands here, and very nice, very, you know, plasticky, rubbery, sorry. It's not, it's kind of, I feel like it's going to be a tangle prone, but again, it is a perfectly serviceable cable, even for the price, in my opinion. And looking at the, oh, there it is, it's starting to tangle. That's exactly what I mean. But anyways, coming up to the chin cinch and the Y-split, and I would say this is the same material as the jack. While this is a very interesting, I love the aesthetic, like a complement to the black and then the bronze or somewhat gold color on the chin cinch. I think it does bring out the colors really nicely. And moving on to the each strands, this does not have a mic, which is to be expected in higher end gear, but just so you know, it does not come with a mic option. And ooh, do you notice something there? Yes, this does not use their usual straight two-pin style cables as they have on their previous IMs. Instead, this uses a QDC type connection, which, you know, love it or hate it, there are definitely reasons why they chose this kind of cable. But moving on to road wrapping it, let's see if it's going to behave. And yep, as it should. Very nice cable, not the fanciest, not the, well, I would say it's pretty, but not the fanciest. Definitely a serviceable cable, and actually fits the EM6L's aesthetics. And finally, speaking of, we can finally take a look at the IMs themselves. You can see there's a plastic cover there, so it does not get scratched up, but I'm assuming we just pull it from the outside, or do we pull it from the inside? I don't know. But you can see here, we pushed it on the outside. Let's push both of them, and there is a plastic cover in front of them, so we can see the proper aesthetics of it. Let's peel it off. Oh, that is very smooth, very satisfying. But as you can see, this is the SIMGOAT EM6L's faceplate. Very, very clean, very minimalist. And I believe the faceplate is metal, while the insides are resin. And you can see here, if we take both of them, and once again, let's peel that off. Wow, very pretty, very nice. If we peel that off, and if it does not get stuck on my fingers, we can see here that there is a rather large indicator to show which side is which I really appreciate, and I'm glad that they put a large enough indicator in that. We can see here again. Let's do a little bit of close up here. That's right. Okay, so faceplate of the EM6L, very clean. I love the design. It does remind me of Meze in some ways, so I don't know about that, but it looks beautiful. It looks so clean. You can see the QDC connector right there, sitting very pretty, very nice. A very clean, very minimalist. You can barely see through the inside of the resin of the EM6L. And again, we can see here the EM6L Phoenix. That is right, Phoenix. And the nozzle, which is interestingly lipless. It does not have a lip on the nozzle. I don't know if that's going to cause some troubles for fitting, but regardless, it is certainly a very interesting design, potentially to compensate for the balanced armatures. So, yep, let's take a look at both of these sets right there. Very nice, very pretty. Look at them. Yeah, I like them. They're very clean. I wouldn't say they're flashy at all, or, you know, it's definitely an acquired taste, but certainly very pretty. But yeah, that's all that we have to see for the EM6L, and I think we can wrap up this unboxing. But the video is not over yet, because I'm also going to be sharing my first impressions of these two right about now. We are back. We have finally unboxed the EW100 DSP and the EM6L, and now we are going to take a look at some of my impressions for these two, starting with the EW100 DSP. I honestly think that it doesn't stray too far from the original, in a sense that it still follows a rather balanced sound signature, but this has considerably more bass presentation, there's more rumble, there's more punchiness, but it does trade off a little bit of note weight in the lower mids, and at the same time, it's I would say it's a lot more, I guess, cleaner sounding than the original. Somehow it sounds a lot cleaner, but it also kind of lacks the clarity that the original had, potentially because of the bass. And it actually reminds me a lot of a TWS tuning sometimes, because of that bass shelf that is a little bit on the boomy side, but it's still clean enough that it doesn't really bleed into the lower mids. It's a very solid DSP IM. I like it. It's very fun. Again, lower mids issue, but it's honestly fine, because for what it is, and most likely for its price, this is a wonderfully tuned, consumer-oriented, and consumer-priced DSP IM. Now moving on to the star of the show, the SIMGOAT EM6L. Wow, this thing, honestly, I am loving this thing. It does follow a little bit more of a, I guess, Harman style. I mean, they literally explicitly stated that it would be following the Harman 2019, but due to how they implement their drivers, quoting HBB, they seem to be the company that is using some of the finer, or at least using drivers to its most capability, and the EM6L is just a great example of that. It sounds so smooth, it sounds so clean. However, I do have a couple of gripes with it. It's a really nicely tuned IM. However, a few issues that I noticed is, one, it's definitely a little bit thin in the lower mids. It's not necessarily like overly thin where it doesn't, it sounds boring or lean or whatever. It doesn't sound like that. But it is not very well emphasized in terms of the details in the lower mid-range for vocals and instruments, and it kind of gets a little bit borderline thin, but it's not overly thin. It's just on the, I guess, less emphasized side. And there is a little bit of a upper mid-range to treble metallic timbre. I don't know if it's because of the balanced armatures, but it definitely has a little bit of a, I would say, less natural upper mid-range to treble presentation on certain tracks, especially less, not as well mastered tracks. Otherwise, man, this is a solid set, very smooth, very open, very, not the crisp sound, most crisp sounding, but it sounds pretty crisp for how smooth it is tuned, and I am liking them. So, thank you so much for watching the unboxing and my initial impressions of the SIMGOAT EW100 DSP and the SIMGOAT EM6L. If you enjoyed this, please consider hitting the like. Definitely consider subscribing as well if you want to see my full review on these two. And check out my social media down in the description, along with Audio Notions, and join the Discord. And with that out of the way, wait, I do want to mention something. I got a little surprise for you. I'm not going to say exactly, but we have gotten a giveaway sponsor, and I'm going to be announcing it very soon. So definitely consider looking forward to that. And again, with that out of the way, OB Audio,